Bonjour tout le monde et bienvenue sur Irwin's French Class. Aujourd'hui, dans cette vidéo, nous allons parler des 10 erreurs que les débutants anglophones font presque systématiquement en français. These 10 mistakes are the most common ones made by English speakers learning French. It's very important to address them in an early stage of your learning because they look and sound quite bad, and fixing them will really make a good impression on your interlocutors and your educators. So if you want to take your French the next level up, mets un pouce bleu, abonne-toi, and watch the video until the end. C'est parti. The first mistake that I hear all the time is when learners give their age. In English, we use the verb to be, while in French, avoir is used. So don't say je suis 30 ans or even je suis 30, but j'ai 30 ans. The French structure literally means I have 30 years. So always avoir to express age. For example, ma fille a 5 ans. Tu as 20 ans. And make sure you do the liaison between the number and ans, 5 ans, 20 ans, 8 ans, 9 ans, and don't pronounce the final S of ans. The second mistake is about the misuse of the very common English adverb, which is actually. I know it's very tempting to use the French equivalent actuellement, but that's a false friend. So I often hear actuellement, j'ai deux frères, which actually means at the moment, I have two brothers. So instead, use en fait. In French, we use that locution all the time. Just make sure to pronounce the final T, en fait. Otherwise, you can also use en réalité. For example, if you want to say, Paul speaks French fluently, but he's actually English. In French, you will say, Paul parle français couramment, mais en réalité, il est anglais. The third mistake is about profession. Never use an article to speak about your profession in French. So it's not je suis un prof ou elle est une docteur, but je suis prof, elle est docteur. Unlike in English, there is no article. Numéro 4. When my students want to speak about their weekend, they often say sur le weekend, because in English we say on the weekend. In French, simply use ce weekend for this weekend, and the tense of the verb you will use will do the rest. In the past, ce weekend, je suis allé à la plage, or in the future, ce weekend, je vais aller à la plage. In number 5, there is something I hear all the time at beginner level. In response to ça va, I often get ça va et tu. The confusion is very recurring among English speakers between the subject pronoun tu, which must be used with a verb like tu parles, tu es, and the stress pronoun toi. In English, it's the same word, it's you that is used, but with two very different functions in the sentence, and that's why it's confusing for English speakers. So remember, et toi, ça va, et toi. Number 6, again very recurring, especially here in Australia, where people wish you good night for good evening. Don't say bonne nuit in French, in this case, as it's only used when it's bedtime. So, bonne nuit means good night as sleep well. Instead, use bonne soirée, have a good night, passe une bonne soirée. Number 7, that one is very important to get straight as it could be misinterpreted. When you want to say that you are hot, and you probably guessed already, in the sense that the weather is hot, therefore, I'm hot. Please, please, please don't use je suis chaud or je suis chaude. It means that you are horny, of course. Again, avoir must be used. J'ai chaud. Number 8, it's in the same vein. Please quit saying je suis excité for everything, for I'm excited. In French, it means aroused. Instead, use the expression avoir hâte and then a verb. It's a more complex structure, but at least you will be properly understood. The sentence, I'm excited about the concert tonight, can be translated as j'ai hâte d'être au concert ce soir. Or, I'm excited for them, je suis heureux pour eux. Number 9, when you visit someone, don't say j'ai visité mes parents, but instead j'ai rendu visite à mes parents. So the locution is rendre visite à and then the people. The verb visiter is only used for tourism in French. Par exemple, je visite la France. But visiting someone in French, it's closer to pay somebody a visit. Finally, number 10, please, please, please. Stop saying beaucoup instead of beaucoup. Oh, please continue because it's very funny. It's like me with the pronunciation of the verb focus. It sounds very bad. Beaucoup means nice ass, so be careful when you want to say that you really love something. Say j'aime beaucoup and please don't say j'aime beaucoup. Sounds very bad. Voilà les amis, c'est tout pour cette vidéo. I hope that video has been useful to avoid these common mistakes. If so, please give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to support my work and please share in the comments the frequent mistake that you realize doing in French and those that you use to do. I'm really looking forward to reading that. Au revoir, à plus. Ciao.